Hello.
Hi
Once,
guys.
hello once again from the Constant Apologies Podcast Studios. It's the Constant Apologies Podcast for April 15th, 2023. And right out the gate, obviously, we've been gone for like a year, so
Yeah, it's been so long.
we've had. But this time, it's personal.
Yeah,
Because,
we're back, bitches.
careful now, we might get censored for that.
Ah, shucks.
It doesn't matter. Uh, I'm Kevin.
I'm Gentianic.
I'm Savior85 for the record. Or you can call me Kevin, whichever, or.
Hey, Kevin.
And we're just here to do a show because
Yeah.
we're trying to get back on our feet after a year-long hiatus,
Yeah,
probably like a year and a half long hiatus, to be honest.
man, so much has been happening.
And we have nothing to talk about because
I mean,
we're
it's all gonna
we're,
be on
we're
the
that
fly.
scatterbrained in a sense.
It's just pretty much gonna be on the fly this time. But yeah, we've been through so much. Me, specifically as well. With a bunch of moving, um, a bunch of eviction scares, I guess, from just kind of ridiculous reasons. Because I'm a guy. That's weird. Cycle through a few jobs. Because there's so much going on from like people passing away, and just trying to like get in a better spot, or a better frame of mind. But we're here. It took a while, but we're finally here, guys.
And I'm hoping that this time we can keep a promise of like doing more consistent podcasts.
For sure.
They might be more on the fly because like we have what's it like traveling distances to.
Yeah, traveling problem, or just traveling distance, to kind of like be able to like meet up.
Yeah, because we have to do this live. We don't really have a means of like doing it from our homes.
Yeah, unfortunately. Hey, why don't you like kick us off on like kind of like the anime you've been kind of like anime and like some games that you've been kind of like
Just remember, we're not just an anime podcast.
yeah,
But Jesus, I'm
video
nervous.
games. Hey man, likewise.
Because the thing is, I've been trying to breed. I'm an achievement hunter at heart, not just with games, but with anime too.
I got
Just
platinum.
it's in a sense that I try to like. I have this huge backlog of anime I want to watch,
Mm-hmm.
good and bad, shitty or not.
Right.
But I do like to collect the ones I've watched into like
Like a catalog or
a
something.
catalog. That's the word. I was
Yeah.
gonna say list, but that's not accurate enough. Into just to prove that maybe I am a weeb.
I
But
mean, yeah. I mean, we talk about anime pretty often, so it is what it is.
it's a basically general catch all podcast, but whatever.
Yeah.
But one anime I've been watching is I liked it before it was cool
Mm-hmm.
because it came out first with a manga and and I was just browsing through the manga section at my local bookstore
Right.
and I came across this one called "The Dangers in My Heart."
Oh. Okay.
It's a romantic comedy of sorts because I'm kind of into that.
Yeah. I saw that. Or I saw like the
It has a Japanese name, but I'm not gonna bother pronouncing it because
yeah.
I'm Japanese illiterate.
Yeah, and like Japanese is hard to speak, but like yeah, I saw that, and I was reading on the descriptions about it somewhat being about like this guy having like murderous kind of thoughts
Yeah,
for this
I mean,
girl.
they murderous thoughts on basically everyone in
Uh
general
huh.
because like the premise is like he's a bit what's the term for it? A chuny. That's the abbreviated version, but a chuny biro or something like that.
Uh,
He's basically one of those kids that fantasize about certain things that take it to childish level
oh, like Megumin from or Megumin.
from Konosuba, yeah,
Yeah,
something like that. But he has like fantasies of like murdering people and stabbing people.
yeah,
He basically kind of wants to be the Joker in a
right,
sense.
yeah,
But the story is so nice, and it's been getting rave reviews even though it only has 2 episodes out.
yeah.
and but he gets rave reviews from me because I've read what's available of the manga.
All right.
Because of like, there's this girl in his class of she's very pretty. She's also a magazine idol and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, cool.
And she's the one that he fantasizes the most about stabbing and cutting up like a Christmas turkey.
Yeah.
But where am I lost my train of thought. And then she goes into even their interactions with each other seem not seem they just get like into these wacky situations standard for your standard romantic comedy.
Like what? What do they do?
Like, they just work like standard for a Japanese romantic comedy, because like sometimes they're working on a project, or and he lends her his box cutter,
Yeah.
which he keeps in his back pocket because of course he does.
Yeah.
Is it working on like a not a crochet?
Like
What's
a
the term?
croquet?
No, it's like a poster thing.
Oh,
Like
okay.
paper mache poster, something like that.
Yeah.
And of course he lend. But in the sense of that, he knows that if he just gives her the box cutter, she's like, "What the hell are you doing with a box cutter, you creep?
Yeah.
Why do you have that in your back pocket all the time?" And he's, and then but instead of that, she's just like, "Oh, thank you," and in a way, she just accepts him for the. I mean, deep down, he's the Joker.
Yeah.
But on the surface, he's just a what is the term? Socially inept kid.
Yeah, socially
With-
awkward kind of.
Socially awkward kid that I'm guessing she's too ignorant or oblivious to the fact that he wants to be the Joker.
Yeah.
But she accepts him for who he is.
Yeah, which is
And-
really sweet.
And the really sweet part is about the part where the girl is getting hit on by this guy. He's like, constantly pestering, not taking no for an answer.
Yeah.
Standard for so that sort of thing. And what he does, he sees them do that she's, not into him. She wants him to go away, but he's not taking no for an answer. What he does, he has his bike with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he shoves his bike down the road in between, like not in between them, but past them.
Yeah.
Startling them. But the latter half is unbeknownst to him. He didn't want this to happen. The bike goes off of a bridge and falls into the water.
Oh.
And the startling enough makes the guy forget, oh, I was hitting on this guy. What the hell was that?
Right.
And that gives him over the distraction to, forget the whole situation. And she doesn't take it as like, what the hell are you doing? She takes it as, oh, that was very nice of you. Thank you for getting me out of that situation.
Yeah.
That is just, like, she's, in a sense, most people would, probably do the whole, what are you doing sort of thing.
Yeah, that whole
But
shtick.
the whole thing is, with her, is I think she's oblivious to the fact that he has maybe ulterior intentions or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just oblivious. She's not like privy to it. She's just, going along with it. The girl doesn't even have social media. She doesn't even know what that is. She doesn't know what Line is. She doesn't know what Twitter is.
Mm-hmm.
That's how scatterbrained I think the term is.
To be fair, I have no idea what Line is either.
Well, I mean, that's the Japanese version of like Discord.
Oh, okay.
I mean, because it's super popular over there, not here.
Right, of course.
I think it's the Japanese version of Discord. It could be Twitter or something like that, or like Instagram. Mesh of all those.
Social media,
Who cares? It's all poison for the brain.
Right.
And I've been seeing it get rave reviews for that scene alone.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, it's a story of like a coming of age where the kid is just the boy is just coming out of his own shell and maybe doing things he's not supposed to.
Yeah.
Just so for the sake of growing up and maybe things that he doesn't want to do at least.
For sure.
Just for the sake of helping this girl who, even though he has darker thoughts, maybe he can become a better person for it.
Yeah, maybe you can grow up to just kind of care for her, or just kind of maybe have those dark thoughts be turned into maybe romantic feelings, despite their page, I guess. Or just like having like turning like those dark thoughts into like a crush is kind of what I mean.
Yeah, or at least a friendship. That's
Oh, for sure, yeah.
as a kid is a total loner because of those whole Joker thoughts.
Yeah. You know what this kind of reminds me of? Like that like Eminence in the Shadow.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
I've heard good and bad things about that one show.
Right. I've only
I've
like,
heard like rave reviews, and then people like this is trash.
yeah, like I've only heard of like positive reviews, but like it's kind of like a mixed message on the positive reviews. Like they say I'm like, no, it's really funny, but it's like super cringy. Um and like but I've seen like the first 2 episodes and it's just kind of not my thing.
I mean, you're the one who decided to pick it up.
Yeah, I don't know what
I mean,
I
you
was
can always
expecting.
pick something up and then not be into it eventually.
Yeah.
But I mean, well, I guess the reviews are misleading. Like the Mario movie,
Oh, how was that?
I didn't see it, but there's like a bunch. Like you should see the Rotten Tomato scores for it.
Yeah.
Audiences love it. Critics hate it. Why do critics hate it? Because it's
Critics.
racist.
Oh, what? Oh, okay.
Why is it racist? They don't even have an explanation for that.
That's confusing.
Or Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt is part of it. He doesn't even do that good of a job from what I've seen.
Oh, really? Oh, that sucks. But, you know,
Everyone's been saying they could have picked anyone else and they could have done a better job.
yeah.
Like the original Mario from that live action Mario guy. Because he's in the movie too.
What?
He just plays a smaller role.
What is he? Like,
I do not know because I haven't seen the movie.
No, that's fair.
But that's just a case of, critics being divided. And, something, that's just another subject. Who do you got to pick your critics.
Yeah.
Who you're going to listen to.
Mm.
The guy who just thinks, oh, it's great because there's a transgender person in it.
Right.
And everything else about it is so flawed, but they don't even care.
Mm-hmm.
Or the person who actually goes into detail about every nook and cranny, which could be a mixed blessing in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because, constantly ripping on every little detail straight from, like, the background characters who you barely even see.
Mm-hmm.
That can be a little upsetting.
For sure. Speaking of, like, people that would probably do, like, a good job with, like, Mario, I was thinking, when you said that, you made me think of Danny DeVito.
Oh, right.
And how he would be, like, he probably wouldn't be, like, all that, physically fitting the role, I guess, but he would definitely bring, like, a charm to it.
Wasn't he Detective Pikachu or something?
I don't know.
Oh, shit. I could have sworn that was... too late for confirmation on that, so...
Yeah, oh well.
I'm pretty sure he was the main character in Detective Pikachu, so... Maybe that would have worked, but, it's Chris Pratt. They probably only picked him because of the controversy at the time.
What controversy?
He's like a Scientologist or something?
Oh, yeah, like, that guy who plays in, like, Top Gun,
What's his name? Son of a bitch.
he's super famous as well. Or maybe I'm thinking of Jim Carrey. I
No.
forgot. He's also in the Mission Impossible things. How
Right.
am I forgetting this guy's name?
The audience is screaming at us right now. It's this guy!
Yeah. God, it's cringe. You know what? I'm just gonna look it up. This is really awkward.
Tom Cruise, there it
Oh,
is.
yeah, Tom Cruise.
Didn't he leave Scientology, though? I thought he said, like, yeah, I'm done with this. And, Scientology, the only reason Scientology even got off the ground was because of him.
Right, yeah. They got, like, a very famous guy, and...
They kind of feed off of people who want to be famous because they have a whole, like, sect in LA
Yeah.
for, like, want to be actors.
Mm-hmm.
They tricked them. Oh, you're taking the acting courses. No, it's cult courses.
Yeah.
So, Dangers in My Heart, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend you watch it too. If you want to start on that thing again where you pick out an anime and we'll watch a season on the side. I at least recommend it if you just want to, like, easygoing anime if you want.
Yeah, it sounds really really wholesome, really cute as well. But it's something that I'm probably gonna just watch or read when it's done, because I really, if I'm gonna watch it, I want to like watch it in its entirety
That's fair.
instead
That's
of
gonna
like,
take you a while though, because they're only on 2 episodes.
I mean, that's fine. I've waited like how long for Attack on Titan, and it's still not done. Oh my gosh.
This is the last season. This is the
Mhm.
last season. The final chapter. The final bit of the chapter. I don't know.
Sure.
That's the meme going on these days.
Um, but yeah, like Attack on Titan, I just value kind of just binge watching, I guess. It just really sucks me in that way.
I mean, the only reason I don't binge watch is because I don't really have the time because of work.
Right, of
But
course.
I work when I'm at work on my lunch break. I watch just like an episode, maybe
Yeah.
2 episodes if I have the time.
Right.
So just so I'm able to finally kick the bucket on my backlog of anime I want to watch, because it is in the hundreds.
Yeah, oh my gosh. What are in your like top 5 right now?
Oh God,
If you
I
can
I
remember.
I can't even. No, I can't remember. I can't even begin to think.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a ton of shit I want to watch, and yet they how about they're all tied for number one? How about that?
Okay. Yeah, that works.
And I'll pick them out at random. And most of the time, I pick them out at random, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Danger's in My Heart is number one, because
Yeah.
I would binge watch it, but only 2 episodes, and it's coming out weekly, so
Right.
because I liked it before it was cool.
Yeah. I know it's cool, and now you're gonna hate its guts. No. It's still it's I'm sure it's still like a really like it'll be a great anime regardless.
Here's another thing, because I seen in comments, just I was talking to another friend about this, is just that, why does the ugly kid or the nerd or the loner kid always get the girl?
Right, yeah.
There's a ton of comments like, yeah, I'm done with that trope. If it has that trope, I'm out.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of shitty. You're just turning your nose up, but I personally still like it. I understand why people don't like it, but
Mhm.
I personally still like it. I'll admit, it might get a little cringy, and like might get a little bit on my nerves, because
Right.
like, not because of that, it's just because like the trope is getting overused. That's
Yeah.
the reason why.
Right, right. Yeah, it can definitely get old. Like for me, something that kind of gets old is the harem kind of genre, where like just a guy just gets a bunch of girls. That gets so old for me.
That's like a step up from that. At least this kid only gets one girl.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause instead of getting multiple girls.
yeah, but that's just an example of the things that or of the genre that kind of burns me out, or it's just not interesting for me at the moment.
Oh, this is a guilty pleasure. That's pleasure in quotation marks. I did watch a while back a couple episodes of World's End Harem.
Oh yeah, how was that?
It was decent. The animation is a little weird compared to most animes, but
Mm-hmm.
it'll work. But it's there's bare nipples and stuff like that, and
Right.
very horny and stuff like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, it does kind of make sense in the storytelling aspect.
What's the story about?
A disease wipes out most men in the world.
Oh yeah, of course.
So at that point, like, yeah, we need whatever guys are available to procreate.
Right. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Hey, no worries, guy.
I mean, the main story is that there's the main character who just wants to be with one person, but that one person is missing.
Yeah.
Even though that they do ask him, hey, we kind of need you to
Do the thing.
do the thing with as many girls as possible. We have other guys doing that right now. But
Yeah.
he's like, no, I need to figure out where my beloved is.
Yeah. Do they ever like find this?
I only watched like 3 episodes.
Yeah. All right. Fair
And to be
enough.
fair, the manga for that is like 20 volumes at this point. So
Jeez, how many chapters per volume?
I don't know. I haven't read it, because you can't read it in stores.
Yeah, that's yeah. With that kind of topic, that makes sense.
I mean, if it has bare nipple, it's automatically, you have to buy it in order to read it.
Right, yeah.
And that totally makes sense. You don't want kids touching that. 'Cause even it's a bookstore. It's you flip through the pages if you want, but if it's
Yeah.
adult content, you can't flip through the pages.
No. You gotta keep them people innocence. I don't know why Jess said. But you said it's like your guilty pleasure or something?
To be fair, I haven't watched it in like over 2 months.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
I'll admit, a harem anime, as long as it doesn't get too far down the line,
Mm-hmm.
not that bad sometimes. But I'm kind of biased because, like, not necessarily biased, but my taste is so bad. Not necessarily bad, I would say. It's just not refined. It's
It's
just
a bit skewed or something.
like I could eat whatever I want, and you could like sometimes. Let me put it this way: a burger from a fast food chain like McDonald's tastes the same as a burger from a steakhouse,
Right.
like a fancy one location steakhouse.
Okay.
Sometimes like that, I just don't realize I'm watching something bad. I just take it at face value.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Like for me, Trigun, it just kind of
The
ended.
new one,
Yeah, the
or
new one. People say it's bad, but like,
it
uh,
is.
well, they say it is because
I thought I heard good reviews about it, but I guess I'm wrong.
the English version is really good. Or I find it really good, but earlier on, people were kind of just primarily watching the Japanese version, and it doesn't really sorry about that. It doesn't really hit as good as the English version, and so that kind of skews a bit of people's like thoughts on it, and saying like, oh, it's pretty bad, it's not as good as the original, but it's the original was a really good comedy, but this current one is it feels good. It just or not really good. It's a dark anime, and it takes a lot from like the original Trigun, um, but it's just really good. Like Vash, his hair isn't like all spiky. It does kind of get that way at the end, but it's there's just more to feel. While the original one was oh haha funny comedy and then it gets dark. But here it's kind of like some dark undertones and then it turns into kind of like a sibling kind of like love where one loves their kind of parent figure and kind of is a bit oblivious to like his brother's kind of love, but like his brother's love is a bit like twisted from an experience that they had while kind of messing around on like their initial kind of ship. Um, and the story kind of revolves around like their kind of dynamic. They're not all together, but it's one trying to kind of protect humanity while the other one is just like humans are bad, blah blah blah. And it's just a really good it's a really good anime. Like if you liked the original one, how long ago was that? Like 1996, 98,
I was
something?
thinking like mid 90s, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If you like that one, definitely check out the newer one.
Stampede, I think it
Yeah,
is.
Stampede. Um it's definitely a good read. You might get confused with the side characters though. They're still Meryl, but her sidekick, or not her sidekick, but her mentor, I forgot his name. But he's just kind of like an old kind of like, all right, newbie, this is how it's done in the industry kind of guy. Like, but he definitely cares, and he gets drunk sometimes. That's kind of funny. And he seems to like know more than he lets on. But definitely, uh, check out Trigun Stampede.
Yeah, an interesting tidbit about that, and a
What?
little bit of a throwback to a previous podcast we had.
Mm-hmm.
The people who made Trigun Stampede, similar people to the people who made Land of the Illustrious. They have some. They have similar. I think it's the same studio, and they have some people who worked on Land of the Illustrious work on Trigun.
Oh, that's so cool. No wonder the CGI is just so good. Oh my god, that makes so much sense.
I mean, that does make sense because like Land of the Illustrious was what 100% CGI.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was 100% CGI, and it worked so good with like the art style, with like how everything was. Oh my god, no wonder.
I did see like a comic, a fan comic that someone wrote where they took a scene from Trigun where the main character has like the crystal sword in his hand or something like that, or like a arm made of crystal, and it looks like phosphorus or phos. The main character like
don't worry about it.
it looks like the main character from Land of the Illustrious's hair color.
Yeah.
And so they made a comic like, oh, I donated my arm to this guy. Okay.
That's funny.
There's rumors that they'll start working Land of the Illustrious again right after Trigun Stampede is done.
Oh, dude, finally.
Rumors.
I mean, that's I'm clinging on to hope. I was clinging on to hope for Bleach, and I'll definitely cling on hope.
I mean, there's a lot of people clinging on hope to all sorts of animes and never get there.
Unfortunately.
So that hope is all we have.
Yeah, man. Speaking about that, you know, like Berserk, like, oh boy, it's coming out with new chapters, which is pretty amazing, despite the mangaka kind of passing away, unfortunately.
Kind of passing away.
Yeah, kind of.
By agreeing to die in 1990. That's just a reference to a video I saw.
Right. I wonder if they're ever gonna like make anime on that, because like,
they got someone new, right? Well, not someone new, but a company new. Or who did they get?
All I know is that the people that were like helping work on the anime, or not the anime, the manga, are still kind of pumping out some chapters based off of the notes left behind. But oh my gosh, if it ever gets like an anime adaptation, man, that'll be
Will people be pissed?
I doubt they'll be pissed, because there's a lot to like animate, but it will just, I don't know, they're probably gonna have to wait so long for like a pretty decent anime. And they might even need to reanimate the entire thing again, like, because they did it twice. They had the original anime, and then they had like the newer, in quotations, newer,
like 2015, 2016.
Yeah, and it was and a lot of it was like CGI, and that CGI was just like poor. So they would, for the integrity of it, they would probably need to reanimate it.
How poor was it? Because, like, you know, in comparison to, let's say, Land of the Illustrious,
it was like, it's probably like,
how do you fuck up CGI?
I mean, pretty easily, you know, like, you know, back in the day with like that, like, creepy kind of like kids cartoons that they kind of use CGI on.
I mean, that's like, you're not even trying at that point, but I'm sure the Berserk people tried. I like to think.
Yeah, they definitely tried, but it just wasn't really like on par with like what it kind of deserved. It just, the CGI kind of takes you out of it. Well, the original kind of like drawing one, like, it definitely takes a lot of time to like make an anime that's not necessarily CGI, but like the effort really definitely pays off with the quality.
Sorry, he's pulling out the notepad.
Yeah, I am. I chose to write out some notes, you know, to just be a little organized. But
gotta fill up the dead air, so that's why I butted in.
Yeah.
What else have you been? Careful.
Sorry.
Don't want you to choke on your own spit.
Yeah. But speaking about like animes,
which was all we've been talking about the whole time.
Oh yeah, for sure. What kind of video games have you been interested in? Like, there's man, so many games have come out. Like, what's it called? Elden Ring. Like, I haven't been able to play that because I don't really have internet, but it looks really good.
You don't need internet to play Elden Ring?
Well, you needed to like download it, you know.
Oh, you can buy a physical copy.
I don't have the systems.
All right, they don't make PC discs anymore.
Nah. Um, but whenever I get like the chance to, I'm definitely gonna play it. And
Which was because it's a year old now.
oh my gosh, already. I hear well, some of friends in my friend group are saying like it might get like DLC, or they're hoping that it might get DLC.
That's a possibility, yeah.
Yeah. But another game that's kind of similar that I'm looking forward to playing in maybe like a year or two from now. Wo Long.
Oh, yeah, Fallen Dynasty.
Yeah, it takes place in like the three kingdoms of China, and that's a pretty interesting area.
I've seen a few people play it. It has the main thing about it is like the only way you're gonna do any damage at all is through parrying. And like that sounds like, I mean, it sounds interesting and fun, but I don't think I'll be able to handle it.
That sounds like what is it? Sekiro mixed with what's the other one? Bloodborne. That sounds like a Sekiro Bloodborne kind of thing.
But the parrying is like 90% of the game combat, at least.
To be honest, that does sound pretty sick. That does sound pretty fun.
Does sound pretty difficult if you ask me.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh, if it's anything like the first game, golly, the first game, which was just Neo. It was such a slog.
Oh, that was the same people?
Yeah, same people, same company. Neo 1, Neo 2. But the first game, Neo, it was such a slog. Well, the second one, it did better, but it still had the same like melt or get melted kind of thing, or either kind of destroy your enemies or just get absolutely like two tapped or something.
Two tapped.
Yeah.
I have a few things to say about being two tapped, maybe even one tapped. Because I've been playing more, because my backlog of games is worse than my backlog of anime.
Right.
And like I am a completionist. I want to beat and get all the achievements and beat my games to at least an 80%. Because I say 80% because like sometimes I am just incompetent, not competent enough to get the platinum. Sometimes there's like achievements that are multiplayer based, and the fan base for that no longer plays, so
Yeah.
no one plays it.
Yeah. Like Super Monday Night Combat.
Never heard of it.
Oh my gosh, it was a fun game. And you could get a reward for playing a specific character on Team Fortress 2. And yeah, and the entire fan base kind of died. Everything died. Like also Gotham City Imposters. That game was pretty fun, but the fan base died. Oh my gosh, there's so many fun games that just kind of unfortunately just died.
That's kind of my argument for single player games, because like you can have single player games and multiplayer games, but you know if the fan base dies, then you can't play it if it's multiplayer based.
Oh yeah.
If it's single player based, you can at least come back to it.
For sure, yeah.
Like the game I was playing, XCOM: Enemy Within.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Enemy Within. It's a expansion pack for the original XCOM. It's a reimagining of the XCOM series where you battle aliens trying to invade Earth.
Oh, cool.
But it's a tactics game where you know you have to run to cover and shoot aliens.
Right.
And each shot is kind of like Fire Emblem, where each shot is a percentage. You have a 60% shot, while they have a 30% shot.
Right. Is it like kind of like turn-based?
Turn-based, very much so. And it's not like Fire Emblem, because Fire Emblem is like a range of percentages. Like you have a 30 to 60% chance of hitting him.
Right. Yeah.
Even XCOM. Excuse me.
Hey.
Had a big breakfast.
Right.
If it says 60%, it's 60%. You can be surprised how many times they miss a 60%. You'll be surprised how much they miss a 90%.
Oh my god, yeah, 90 just feels like a 50% sometimes. With how often it just misses.
But my problem is two problems. One, aliens hit 10%.
Jeez.
They hit 10% like it's nothing. And another thing is like most of the campaign, you can get two tapped, maybe even one tap by certain enemies. There's like 20 different enemies based on like class and power level and stuff like that.
Right.
But you can get two, maybe one tapped. for them it takes like 5, 6, 7, 8 shots.
Right.
And you try to like compete with them where like you try to build like laser rifles, plasma rifles, better lasers, stuff like that. But no matter what, they're always like one step ahead of you. Maybe even like 5 steps ahead of you, considering they can not be one tap. That's 1 point. They can always be. You have to fire like 8 shots at them. Meanwhile, they can 2 tap you.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm playing on the hardest difficulty because that's been the bane of my existence for the longest time ever since the game came out.
Is there like a achievement for beating that?
Yes, like tons.
Like what?
Uh, well, beating it on the hardest difficulty, beating it on Iron Man mode, which is like you can't reload a save because usually when you reload a save, you can save you can like if someone dies, you can reload a save and they're not dead.
Yeah.
So Iron Man doesn't allow you to do that.
Oof.
And there's like a subset of harder missions.
Right.
And so I'm playing on like this mod called the Long War mod, which the fan base is all the rage for.
Oh, what's it about?
It makes the game harder and longer.
Oh, how so? Does it just like buff up the enemies, make them do more damage?
Sometimes, but it's more like because the original XCOM, I have my voice cracked there. The original XCOM could take you like 5 or 6 hours to complete a campaign. This will take you 3 times that.
Oh,
maybe
wow.
even 4.
Yeah.
Because it like spreads out. It like stretches out the campaign to the point where you only do like 2 missions in a certain period of time. You have to do like 10 missions to get the same result.
Alrighty.
And I'm playing it on the hardest difficulty, which they do say at the beginning, it's not fair, and it's more of a test of how far you can get. It's technically beatable, but most people probably can't. It's because it's really unfair and really difficult.
I mean, at least they're honest, or at least they're upfront with it. So you at least like what you're expecting, or at least.
But some people have beaten it. Just
Man.
that number is very few and far between.
Yeah, legends, man.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about games is as long as you follow a meta, maybe you can beat it. Anyone can beat it.
Yeah, a meta is kind of like a, what's it called? Like a blueprint or like an equation that's like solved. Like 1 + 1 = 2. It's like a straightforward thing that you can almost kind of like rely on.
I mean, I'm not a fan of metas because ever since Yu-Gi-Oh! When I stopped playing that, the meta's gone, oh, you have to play with this deck. If you play with this deck, people are going to hate you.
Yeah, oh my gosh, with Yu-Gi-Oh! It's either, like, it feels like Yu-Gi-Oh! Just kind of lacks creativity. It lacks creativity and, like, kind of, like, involvement. And it's a bit almost toxic to a degree with, like, the meta thing, as you said. You can't really do stuff that you necessarily want. You can't really like fool around because there's gonna be people that are like super meta focused, and then like people don't like that because they just can't play, or they're just put in a situations where they can't do this game that they spent hours trying to prepare for, and it just sucks.
I remember when I was a kid that I just wanted to play with a deck filled with random cards.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was the game to play because I was stupid. But then I went to a tournament and then it was like, I get 2 turn.
Yeah.
I losing 2 turns.
Mm-hmm.
Because they play they play like 20 cards in 1 turn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, how is that fun? They don't. I'll be honest. Those people don't look like they're having fun. They're there to win, and they're on a psychotic level.
Oh my gosh, yeah. They gotta get that. I don't even know what they win.
They probably win like a booster pack, like a extra rare booster pack, or
wow.
maybe a cash money prize sometimes.
Okay. I guess with like cash or whatever, but
usually it's a booster pack, or like you get like a extra rare card or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, but still, it's just kind of
it's psychotic.
It's just hard to play now. It's hard to want to like make a deck that's kind of viable that can like play against like other decks.
You know, I was funny thing was I was talking to a friend like maybe I can get into Magic the Gathering, and they're like, it's hardly any different. It's
Oh,
just as toxic.
oh no. Well, I hear One Piece just started with its kind of
Oh, it has a card game now too, doesn't it?
yeah. They tried a card game, golly, like what, 20-ish years ago, like after the boom of Yu-Gi-Oh. That flopped, and but they're trying again in kind of like the how do you put it? It's kind of like a Commander's version of Magic the Gathering with like resources, and you have your own like main kind of hero character guy, and then he has his own abilities. You have your resources. I forgot they're called like Dawn cards. They're like your resources, your action to play, summon, attack, and all that stuff. It seems hopefully it doesn't become turbo toxic like some of the others.
These days sometimes I think having a little bit to a lot of toxicity is just inevitable.
uh,
At least in some fandoms, but sometimes I think it's inevitable in any fandom.
right, yeah.
Speaking of One Piece, I heard you've been watching a ton of that, despite the fact that it's, not, well, you haven't been watching it. You've been reading the manga.
Oh yeah, for sure. So kind of spoilers ahead on like kind of the most recent kind of chapter. So Garp finally does something. That's fucking amazing. Um he they're like trying to save Kobe. Obviously you would know this if you read it, but like he was saving Kobe, and he just kind of like he finally shows that how strong he actually is. But what's a bit like concerning about that is
Here comes the turbo nerd part of the
yeah, I
podcast.
could put on my glasses, man. And he does something, and this kind of a lot of people kind of, how do I put it, kind of sleeps on him, kind of underestimates him because they kind of look to Rayleigh or some of the other like older kind of people in the series, and they kind of like, oh well, Garp's using Fizz, and he's not all that strong, he's old, and they use like a cannonball feat from like earlier in the series as like, no, he can't do this anymore, or he can't do this as easily anymore because he's getting old of age, but he's still crazy powerful. In fact, I think he's stronger than Rayleigh at this point, or he's always been probably stronger than Rayleigh, because he was as strong, if not stronger than Roger himself. Roger, and like one of the flashbacks in Wano, Roger versus like Whitebeard. Keep in mind, in that little like battle, Roger was sick. He was gonna die a year later from his illness. He was terminally ill, and he was fighting Whitebeard, arguably Whitebeard in his prime, like fairly easily or to a standstill, if anything. And it just kind of goes to show like Garp's not sick. Garp is fairly healthy, and he was as strong as Roger. I would say like Garp would be like, if not like a Yonko, kind of as strong as a Yonko, like Kaido. I would say he's definitely stronger than Big Mom. Like Big Mom, like she's really tough, really has a lot of defense, but I don't see how she can do much, I guess. She's very defense oriented, but she just lacks a bunch of like physical power. And when she does use power, or uses her power to like buff herself up, she kind of like sacrifices like her own like health. And I guess I get Garb is like, fairly old, but like he's still so powerful. I can definitely see him like defeating Big Mom. Maybe not Kaido, because Kaido's more, he's not necessarily in his prime, but he's still like much stronger. In fact, he defeated Luffy like 3 times. He even killed Luffy once. I'm saying like the time when he knocked Luffy out, and Luffy turned into Gear 5th, I think it was. He apparently he died. That's what some people are saying. Um,
We're
And
talking complete gibberish to some of our audience right now.
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm just a massive One Piece nerd. But to kind of like close that section off, like yeah, it's just cool to see the people we haven't seen all that much do stuff actually doing stuff, like Shanks like a chapter prior, Garp this time. Um and it kind of makes you wonder like who else is gonna like show something. We saw like Aokiji kind of, or we suspect Aokiji is kind of going to Egghead with like Lafitte and Katarina, and to kind of like cause some trouble, maybe like capture some of the Seraphim, or the what are they called, the pacifistas, or hell, even some of the scientists, if not the Vegapunks themselves. Um, but also, in addition to that, we might also get like a kind of, what's it, a log town? No, um, this one. Golly, it was something from like earlier on in like One Piece where Luffy was on the on a podium and Buggy was about to chop off his head. I'm thinking like, well, what if that's kind of like a I don't know where I'm going with this, but what I'm trying to say is, what if Dragon shows up next chapter to kind of, if not the next chapter, like a few chapters from now, to kind of like save Luffy from like Blackbeard's kind of stuff. They have Aokiji, and we kind of got hints that Aokiji's not all that bad either, though he's like on Blackbeard's crew. It seems like he's still working for the Marines as a part of Sword, it seems. And hell, we might get like another like Ohara kind of or not incident, but another Ohara thing, and or Dragon might show up and kind of spill the beans on, hey, there's a king of the world. It's not the Gorosei. There's another person, and I find that like really cool. In that prospect, and also it makes you kind of wonder like how strong is Dragon, because he has like a weather kind of fruit. Does he like kind of play into the whole like dragon mythology where they usually control the weather? Does he have like a weather kind of fruit, a breeze kind of fruit? I mean, it would make sense. And like his kind of attacks, Garp's attacks are like galaxy or stellar kind of based. Luffy's is kind of gun, sometimes a bit godly kind of based. Um and well, Luffy is kind of like the sun, or he has the sun god fruits, but it makes you kind of wonder like Dragon, what kind of stuff could he have? Would he have like divine kind of attacks? Would he have celestial kind of attacks as like a reference to like maybe him being part of like, maybe him like having some ties to the celestial dragons? There's just so much to speculate at this point, and it's so cool that there's so much happening in for characters that just haven't had all that much time to shine, that much time to like do stuff. We know about them, but we don't know what they are capable of, and that's pretty fun.
Got
Um,
a breath right there.
yeah, I ran out of breath. Sorry, Turbo Nerd. Turbo Nerd over here.
I wish I could be that passionate about something, but so far I'm like moderately passionate about things.
Oh right, you're also working on like a book, right?
Not at the moment. Just some like edits here and there. Just for the record, I work like 100 books at once, like 100 different stories at once. But at the
Right.
same time, I'm just like, I don't have the time for this at the moment. I'm just trying to go to work and like maybe do some edits when I get off. But
Right, yeah.
how's your? I hear you're writing a book too. How's that going for you?
So far in terms of writing it, haven't really necessarily started writing it, but storyboarding, I got the first. So golly, this is a little over ambitious, I guess, but there's so much I'm trying to do for this book and this series actually. For it's not just a single book, it's a series of like multiple books. but for the first kind of book, I feel confident, or I feel good about the storyboarding. There might be some things I kind of want to add, and that's such a kicker. Sometimes you kind of just gotta let it go, or sometimes you gotta let some thoughts go. Sometimes you got to
At least
just
keep them
kind of
on the
go for it.
at least keep them on the back burner where you can come back to it if it does get popular, or you can restart it again or something like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I kind of so in addition to the first book, I've kind of have more of a storyboarding for the second book. Actually, I have a general skeleton for the entire series, but so far the main book is fleshed out, and the second book is on its way to being like storyboarded. And I'm pretty excited, though I have no idea how long it'll take me to like actually do this. Watch it like take like 10 years from now. Whoops, still not done.
I've been running for 10 years. It's still not. None of them are done.
Oh yeah.
So
Ugh.
I have nothing to show for it neither.
I mean,
So
it's but for the meantime, it's
started running when I was 17. I'm 27 now.
damn.
God jack shit.
You're 27?
Yeah.
I'm 27.
Oh shoot.
Nice. High five.
Could have sworn you were a year younger than me.
I am, but your birthday is after mine.
Okay.
I can finally be in the big leagues with others that are slightly older than me for like the majority of the year. But anyways, that's the amount of time that we have today. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for like jumping in front of me when I'm supposed to do that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But we're at the end of our hour too, so we're probably gonna cut it here.
Yeah. We're pretty much just trying to do this on the fly. We didn't have all that much prep. I did write things down, but we just kind of just trying to get back in the hang of it.
It's practice for when we do more shows.
Oh yeah, for sure. And hopefully we can do some more shows and like life doesn't like throw another curveball or something like that. Golly. But yeah, again, thank you so much for watching.
Listening.
Or listening, yeah, that. You can find this podcast almost everywhere you can find a podcast, right?
I'll put it where we can put it.
Yeah.
Shoot, I don't even remember where we put the last podcast on. I believe it's on Anchor, but they put it from Anchor. They send it to other shows like Spotify and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I could also put it on the YouTube channel.
Hey.
On my personal YouTube channel, which is the Savior 85.
Right.
You also find a gaming channel stuff there, if you're interested.
Hey, you know what? We could probably start just a YouTube channel for like podcasts.
That's possible, but
Yeah.
then again, I have to make another Gmail account, and that's
Ooh.
kind of a bit of a
Yeah, that's a bit of a hassle. But anyways, yeah. Anyways.
Have a good day.